when I was in high school, my brother and I used to get into these fights. Now I'm the oldest. I have two younger brothers, and my middle brother, who's only like 12 and a half months younger than me, he was always more aggressive, just kind of enjoyed the fight a little bit more. I was never, I'm this timid guy, so I never really saw the point of it. Anyway, so all that to say, in end of middle school, high school, he started to get into karate. He's got black belt. He used to do demos. And he invested into it. So I say all that because he could always beat the crap out of me, and so I always knew it. I was always like mentally, my self esteem was a little high, so I could always kind of like, I could verbally harass him, and I would be level keel the whole time. And so, anyways, one time we were fighting and we're going back and forth, and I remember like he would like get me and do whatever, and then I would like I remember this one time I would slap him in the face, and he would get so angry because he would do whatever he wanted, and then I would slap him in the face, and we'd go back and forth. Terrible fights. Read my story on my site. You can read more about why were we allowed to get away with these things and so forth. It was just a chaotic phase of my life. It was just brothers being brothers. Anyways, one time he hit me and him were fighting, and I probably did something. It wasn't whose fault it was, but he had me in a headlock, and he had his arm around my neck, and he's choking me, and I was like on the ground. It's like true WW, FE, depending, the last time you watched it. Last time I watched it was WWF. And he pulled up on my jaw, and when he pulled up, I heard this, and my jaw dislocated. And I was in so much pain. I heard that it like slide out of place, clearly because it's so close to your ear. And I remember all I did was I said, "You're going to be in so much trouble," because I had proof. And so my jaw swelled up, and I had to go to the doctors, and I told this, I found out, like a lot of people find out, like that happens. It slides in, slides out. So slid back in. Anyways, to say all that, I've kind of had a little bit of a jaw problem growing up. It isn't like a big thing. It's very minor, but I could hear it every once in a while, and it's irritated. Well, this past week I had a couple days where my jaw was like just really sore, like just not normally sore, and I didn't want to go to the doctor because I'm a guy and I hate the doctor, and I'm always confused on my health care and all that stuff. Say all that, I woke up like after 48 hours of having this pain. It was to the point where I couldn't chew, and I was like, I gotta figure this out. I don't want anything bad to happen long term. So I was like filling my gums and filling my teeth, and I was like, no, no, my teeth hurt. Like this is literally just right at the joint. So my healthcare has this online doctor thing. It's through Blue Shield or Blue Cross or whatever. And a friend of mine had told me about it, my friend Timothy, and so who also works at the church that I'm at. And so I did it. I literally went to my computer. I typed it in. I put in my Shield number. It was all through my stuff. It was legit. I didn't just Google this. It wasn't like somebody in Party City attire, like joking around. It was like all legit. I I told him like on a form what it was, and then it had like 8 doctors that were like live and ready to meet, and I picked one. I don't know why I picked the one that I picked, but I did, and it was super cool. She popped up. It was, they did a test thing before, like, does your camera work? I'm trying to find a video of this. Um, so that was the doctor right there. And it was just like kind of like a Skype call, and it was super chill. And she just asked me, like, okay, does this hurt? Did this hurt? She had me do some things. She's like, okay. She says, it's probably this. This is probably would make sense. And then she gave me some guidelines. If this keeps on happening, then it's a bigger problem, and you need to go to a doctor physically. But I'm going to give you, and she explained to me, the jaw's a joint, and just like any joint, there's like bags behind it that can get inflated. And so she prescribed me medicine. And I literally went, I had this thing I had to do in the morning. And then that afternoon afterwards, I just went to the CVS down the street and picked up my prescription. And it was super cool. And I think about this as somebody who doesn't like going to the doctor. I've been to the doctor a handful of times, really. And that was such a cool thing, because I think what it helped with is that if that doctor would have told me it was serious, then I would have gone. But it gives me this extra layer now that I don't necessarily have to. Because a lot of times it's just like, hey, I got this thing, or like, I don't know, and the virtual kind of consult like that made a lot of sense and really worked. And I think I'm going to go to you're going to see me checking in with the doctor. And through my dentist, it was, not through my dentist, through my medical, it was only $15, copay. And so super cool. Anyways, I just say all that because that was something that I had never tried. So, anyways, let me know down below on the comment sections if you tried an online doctor like that before and if you had a good experience or a bad.